We may have lost our Zoom person, but I told her I'll get back with her. And we'll do a special this weekend. It'll be Friday. It won't be long just to see how you can get on. Most of the more experienced people, they know how to get on. They're definitely the new ones who haven't tried Zoom. Okay, Transform Coach. We're going to get into the coaching class. Let's pray and we get started. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather here today. We give thanks to you for this day. Father, we thank you for the new year. That, Father, this is our best year ever. Best year to come. Father, I pray for people that we come forth with high hopes and great expectations. That, Lord, if you are for us, who can be against us? And your desire that you delight yourself in the prosperity of your servant, Lord God. And that everything our hands touch will prosper, Lord God. That we will advance your kingdom. Father, we'll become great coaches, oh Lord God. Excel in our business endeavors, Lord God. And that, Father, this is the year of the breakthrough, the year of the turnaround, Father. And Father, we just thank you, Lord God, that we will continue to move forward in what you call us to do. That your purpose will be revealed to us and it will be fulfilled to us in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. As we go forth in the coaching class, I want you to look at the first sheet. It should be double-sided. On the first one, it says, Winter Semester Transformation Coaching Class. If you have that one, Winter Semester Transformation Coaching Class. Okay? These are the weeks. It's 10 weeks. This is going to be something. It's a one sheet. It's one page. And if you have it, just give me a wave. So I'll make sure everyone has it. Okay? All right. Those are the different weeks. Today, the need for transformation, assessment, coaching questionnaire you will receive. You're going to take a coaching questionnaire today, and you're going to actually coach someone, your partner or a partner today as we go forth. On week 2, if you see there, the 7 core things of areas of transformation or coaching. Very important that you get to know these themes because one of these things you're going to select and it's going to help you develop your niche. And it's going to be very important in coaching. And a transformation coach, you don't talk about, I'm a life coach, I'm a health coach, I'm this type of coach. You talk about, I transform lives by this. We're going to show you how to do that. And it's going to be really a different form because you're in the process of transformation. And most people don't want to know what you do. They want to know what's in it for me. So how I'm going to benefit, how I'm going to get results. And you have to be, as a transformation coach, you have to say, I'm about getting results. I'm about getting you from one place to the next. The third week, we talk about transforming life. Really, we may get into that the second week, or solving problems. You will discover your niche. You'll discover your niche. You may even fine-tune it a little bit because it's not how big of a group you have, it's how focused you are in terms of your niche, okay? You're going to learn your transformation statement, what your statement will be, and what that means. That's just a short statement that will pique people's interest in you. Okay, and then it goes on, your 5-part transformation conversation piece. That's going to be something you're going to learn and you're going to develop over time. We're going to work it in mastermind groups when we break into group sessions for those. And then what's the difference between pain island and pleasure island? Most people in pain island, they're in discomfort, they're not happy, they're not satisfied. They want solution because they face problems. And then when they get in pleasure island, that means we've gotten over to the solution. And that's the transformation part once you get to pleasure. And there's a transition in that. We're going to go through all of that. Okay. Week 4, time management. Each of these are different assessments you will be taking because the key thing is how do you manage your time? We only have 20, everyone has the same hours, 24 hours a day. So many hours, 168 hours a week. What are you doing with it? If you plan on being successful and being used of God, you know, for that. And he can redeem the time, but I don't know how much he'll redeem if you keep doing the same thing over and make it not the most or the best use of your time. Okay? So you're going to talk about what is your most productive time. You're going to learn what is your most productive time. I know what my most productive time is, and I try not to have nobody bother me during that time. It could be 3 hours, 4 hours, but there's a certain amount of time that's really high productive time for your most productive. And then you're going to learn what is high pole, low pole, no pole, leg pole, and time. Those are some things you're going to learn. And you're going to also, all these are different assessments you're going to take and you're going to learn in that week 4. And then week 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're going to be working out of this book for the most part. And all of our mentor teachers are going to be doing a lesson out of this. This is your book that you'll be getting right before week 5 for the people who are in the class. Our alumni, and we have some alumni here, you should have this book. So you make sure you bring that during week 5. And so that is pretty much the transformation class we'll be doing for that. On the back, this is everybody for certification. And to my mentor coach, if I miss out on anything because I'm going fast, please let me know, for that. On the back, I'm giving you your semester final right now. So there's no excuse. You're getting it today. Okay? So first thing you're going to know, you're going to be matched with a peer coach. And in your semester final this time, there's not going to be any excuses. You're going to have to contact your peer coach at least 8 times during the semester, because you're going to have to coach one another. We're going to talk about that a little later. Each coaching session should be a minimum of 20 minutes. And your coach your peer, and then they'll coach you, so that's a minimum of 40 minutes. I would say mark out an hour on your plan. 1 hour out of 156 hours to coach. Okay? Must have a summary of each coaching session. So you either can record it if your peer agrees to it, or you can just take notes. Okay? And then in your report, make a summary of each coaching session. I'm not just looking for you to be detailed, to you giving dotting every I and crossing every T, but I do want you to know that your report must include the day, the date, and the time of each session. And then secondly, you want to report the progress, the goals, the objectives, everything it has here, obstacles, problems, different things you want to be recording, because you're coaching them. And the goal is to get results in that area. And then one coaching session must be electronically recorded, so your peer coach can listen to it. To my mentor coaches, you record yours so I can listen to it. So everybody's going to be accountable to someone here in that regard. Then if you look on the page on part 2, it says you put your name in there, and then who your peer coaching partner is. You'll know who that is on today. And then you and your peer coaching partner will sit down and talk today. And you're going to decide on the day of the week and the time you're going to be coaching one another. Because you want to make that time. We want to get in writing, because we're going to have your mentor coaches get this. And then in coaching, it's not the coach's job to call the client. It's the client's responsibility to call the coach. So you and your peer coach are going to take turns being the client first. And on this list, you're going to put your name on. If Joe and I were coaching partners, peer coaching, and I'm the client the first week, then on January 8th, I say, I'm calling him, Joe. And then on January 15th, Joe will be calling me. And it'll be vice versa. And we put that, you fill this out today, and then you're going to give this to your mentor coach. They're going to make copies and give it back to you next week. Please make note on this week when you call. Don't miss this week. Again, you have 8 of these to complete. Can you complete 1, 2 in a week? That should be the exception, not the rule. We still gave you a couple of extra weeks to work with, because some of your your peer coaches are not here today for that. So any questions on that? Practice does not make perfect, but it does make for improvement. And so and it does build confidence. I have to get you to coach. I have to get you to coach. And so your mentor coaches will have that schedule at the end of the semester. You want to make sure you have one recorded electronically, and you want to make sure you have each session you've done recorded in that regard. That's what you're looking for for that. Any questions on that? And this semester, you're going to learn how to operate like in a professional manner. So we're going to talk about doing a contract and everything before we leave today. And you're going to learn how to do that. And everything I give you today, you're going to get electronically this week. So you can modify it, change it for your own, for those of you who go into the coaching business in that area. Okay, so that's a part of the transformation class. Okay, let's move on. Transformation coach. And that's what you're going to become, is those of you to be certified as a transformation coach. This person here, we won't get a chance to hear her. She was on the Dr. Phil. I probably got to write up here on. Yep. Everybody doing something else, blocking y'all.
Tell your age.
This look like this. I really like this quote she had. People are more comfortable with a familiar discomfort than they are with the unfamiliar possibility.
Yes, that is very good.
And she's been on Steve Harvey's show as well as on Dr. Phil. And she was just on Dr. Phil last week. And she was announced as a transformational coach. And she was helping this mother and daughter with her daughter's boyfriend beat up the mother, overcome some things. And so their goal was not to focus on the past, even though the past is hitting them. They wanted to break through. And we'll get into that on some of the difficulties that you may have. That's in relationship coaching. We work with people in relationships. So, but that was just, she's a transformational coach, Lisa Nichols. She has a book. Two things when you go into coaching, two things you must have. A vision. If you're going to be effective, because it builds credibility, you should have written a book in the area of the niche, or you should have a blog going. Because you have to build a customer base. You have to see that people have to see that you're credible, that they have to think you know something. Okay? So it has to be something you're passionate about, you're willing to learn. And to start off, you say, I can't do a blog every week. You can use other people's blogs just to start building your reach and your team up, your followers up. And just say, this is something I got from someone else. I just want to share it with you in that area. But that's going to be very important there. Transformation. Everyone knows Romans 12, 1 and 2 about the renewing of your mind. Be not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So we know it starts with your thinking. And what happens, we got to be in here. It starts with our thinking. And we have to realize that if we don't change the way we think, we won't change what we are or what we do. Okay, two, you have to change the way you think. Change your thinking. It will lead to your speaking. So what are you saying? Concerning your life, concerning your destiny, concerning your future, concerning relationship. What are you saying? The first time you say something doesn't mean you have it down in your heart. Word of God says faith comes by hearing. So any word you speak is going to come by hearing. I want to let you know weeds grow faster than growth. Right? So if you hear a lot of bad junk, it's going to grow quicker and higher and faster than hearing the stuff you need to hear. Are you still with it? And so you think, then you speak it. Whether you believe it or not, you speak it. See, I say it with my mouth. I hear it with my ear. It gets down in my heart, and it appears in my life. But if you don't say it, you won't hear it. So it won't get down, so it won't appear. So you want to really know that you're speaking. Even when I don't feel. It's not what you feel. It's what you're looking towards and what God has promised you. And then you start doing. And those are going to be very important as we look at the dreams, we look at the goals and everything, and we're talking about transformation. You know, we want to be looking at these things and walking in them. It's going to take time, it's going to take diligence and some other things, but it's something we must be ready to do. There's old saying at Hillside Middle School, used to be believe, achieve, succeed. And it was built by, it was just ongoing, and I just believe that so much. Believe, achieve, succeed. But before you can believe, you got to start changing your thinking. So you know what to believe, you know, in that matter. And that's the process of transformation. And what I want you to know, change isn't change, and just change. Don't be telling me you fit into. So that's not going to work. I want to let you know that. And that ain't God. So that's the process. A transformation coach. As a transformation coach, you want to know. Can you see? You want to know, one, you solve problems. And some people you coach and you're not there, how can I say it, to just be a friend. If you're not solving problems, you're not coaching. And that's what we want to get here, is that we're solving problems. Two, you empower people. And you're going to have some people, and I look at, just for the sake of this little moment here, Pastor Diane and Pastor Malcolm, I look at them because you two enjoy something very similar as pastors. Sometimes when we have our coaching hat on, Some people say, put your pastor hat on and give me the word on what I should do. And you got to be able to take one hat off and put the other hat on. You know, and that's where we may get into different things. But I want you to know the whole idea, if you tell people what to do, they'll hold you responsible for their failure. I had a young lady tell me, I was working with her and her husband, and she told me to put my pastor's hat on. I was trying to coach them. I'm trying to coach everyone, not a fellow. So I told her what the word said, and she got so mad. She sent me a 3-page letter talking about blaming me for what was going on. I gave the wrong advice and everything, and found out everything worked out well based upon the advice I had given her, you know, for that. But you got to realize, once you start telling people what to do, if they're not mature to accept responsibility, they'll blame you for what they do. You know, whereas a coach, you don't tell them. As a coach, you draw it out of them. So that's the empowerment part there. Number 3 is about changing lives. And that's the process of transformation, when people can see a change has taken place in life. And that's the 3-legged stool that a coach sits on. And so when you're looking at yourself, am I solving problems? Am I empowering people? Are lives being changed? And you can give yourself a check on each one of those for each person you're coaching. You're going to come out of that saying, that person will have a testimony for you. You can say, I'm operating as a transformational coach. You know, I'm for that. So why people don't change? I've learned this from Pastor Brooks. It's been just part of my everyday thought process. 1, unbelief. I don't believe I can change. You know, you're going to talk to somebody, and they're going to come to you and say, I'm ready for a coach. I'm ready for a coach. But they don't really believe they can change. And you got to have the discernment on, because they will waste your time to know if they really change. 2, it's too hard or challenged to change. Look at your neighbor and say, he's talking about you. Yeah, because you're in this class, I know there's gonna be some difficult things. You know, that's why you might hear me say all the time, blessed are the flexible, for they should not get bent out of shape. Because I just went to a hard place and I'm not giving up. Look at your neighbor and say, don't give up. Why do you think I have my daughter and my granddaughter here trying to help me? Okay, because I'm trying to take it to another level. I'm trying to go global. I won't go global all by myself, because you're gonna have people that's gonna help you. Don't you give up. But you'll have people who give up because they're going to say, it's too difficult. I can't read. I can't do the computer. What you going to do? They got to learn. I don't need to change. I don't need to change. And sometimes they'll look at you, and because they think they're more well off, or for any reason, they say, I don't need to change. And they're not to compare, or you're not to compare yourself with anyone else.
Is that gender specific?
David, I need somebody to help me now. and pain, it hurts to change. Some people say it just hurts to change. I got to go through all this change. And you're going to find out some people say, I don't need to change. They don't say it, but they tell everybody else they need to change, but they're not willing to change. You know, and then pain, it hurts to change. Number 5, comfort is uncomfortable to change. I love being comfortable. I don't want to move out of this area. I was talking to Joe yesterday. I said, Joe, you've inspired me. And I need to change in a certain area. and he's the second brother I talked to about a certain change, and they both invited to help me. I said, I'm not ready for that step yet. That's step 3. But I'm ready to change. I got to go to step 1.
So you told everybody about it. You're not telling us.
Oh, no, I'm not telling you the rest of the story. You just got to figure out. Joe and I know. Let me reel you back here into the board up here, okay? Okay. Ignorance, I don't know how to change. That person still could be helped if they want to learn. But then they may run into, it's too hard to change. You know, but what it is, as a coach, you're going to be able to discern, especially if you're doing complimentary sessions. And you'll do some complimentary stuff, but they got to want to change if you really didn't work to change. And you got to give them a test every time, or an assignment every time. Desire, I don't want to change. You have people like that who don't want to change in those areas. So Simple steps. You must want to change. How many here want to change? Okay. Now I want to make sure that's not a New Year's resolution, okay? Because it really wants to. And what happens, I love the Word of God. I love the Word of God. When God gives me a word and I run into difficulty, I go back to the Word. Because normally the Word God gives me is in alignment with the direction I'm going if I want to change. Yes?
In that same vein, I have found people, when you're trying to coach them and change them, well, not trying to change them, but just trying to bring about change, they'll fall back on, well, God told me this. And it's like, come on now. And then you just like gloves off. Because once they say, well, God told me this, I don't think God want me to do that. And it's kind of like using that as a crutch, because who's going to argue with that? And at that point, I just kind of just walk away. But
you're still in my second lesson, okay? That's relationship coaching.
Okay.
Because but you're right. That is one of the biggest challenges you have in coaching someone. Once they say God tells them not to do it, your hands are off. Donna?
How did you hear it? How did God confirm that you said it? There are questions that you can ask. Yeah, what the other person is doing. Maybe rethink what the
Well, that's good, because in the relationship class, we're going to be doing a scenario like that. So everyone's going to get a chance to get around it, Number 2, decision, you must make the commitment to change. And that commitment, how can I say it? It's not just a one-day thing. You must be really fully persuaded that there's a certain area either you want to change or God's saying it's time to change. As I say, for me, the most important thing is the Word of God that gets settled in my heart about changing. And then 3, it will take work. Discipline is doing something you may not like to create something you desire. And so if you desire change, that's what you desire. Discipline is going to be doing the things you may not like. When I used to coach girls basketball, especially the girls and the boys, okay, so I won't get old gender percent. But the girls didn't believe, they didn't want to run. And I would have my first week, you're not touching the basketball, you running up and down doing wind sprints. Because they would know we would press. And I said, it's going to make us a better team, you're a better player. And so the first week, you don't touch the ball. You just run up and down. We do circuit training, a lot of little things. We probably touch the ball, maybe free throws at the end of the day. But jump roping, so there's a lot of those things they would do just to get in shape. But discipline is doing something you may not like to create something you desire. And that's about a change. And what I'm saying, I'm setting you up for this week, this semester. You're going to have some work to do. Making those phone calls is work. Coaching, peer coaching is work. Okay? And it's something you may not desire. You may not like, but it produces something you desire. That'd be a better coach. And some of you gonna be surprised. No, I'm saying everyone here is gonna be successful. Someone somewhere else is not gonna make those phone calls. And when it comes to get certified, they're gonna get a piece of paper, but it's not gonna say certification. So it's very important to be making the phone. That's why we changed the final this year. Diligence. What are you doing daily to build your coaching business? What are you doing daily to go towards your goal? I think it's Mike Murdoch. Your success lies in your daily routine. What are you doing daily? So for the next 10 weeks, don't take a vacation. Don't take a week or 2 off mentally, because your success lies in your daily routine. Diligent, consistent, daily. And the 5th one, determination, don't quit. Bounce back from each setback. I did a demonstration at church years ago. I remember seeing those little punching bags that you can hit and it falls down and come right back up. And that was my demonstration. I said, we got to be like this punching bag. I would hit the person who had a face and he would just come back. You got to constantly bounce back. No excuses. And sometimes you get so faint, so weary, you just want to give up. But you got to remember, no, God's working something in me, both to will and do his good pleasure. He's about bringing a change in me. I desire that change. I want to go forward. I want to build this business. I want to do this. I just believe it's there for you, for all of us. And so those are the steps that we go forward. Life transformation coaches are change agents. Your mission, if you choose to take the mission, is to coach people to bring about change in their lives, to change their desire and they want. And you're to walk alongside them and help them, empower them to bring about the change they want to be. And so we help people change. And so when we talk about life or transformation coaches, we're talking about being change agents. And no matter where you go, there's someone who's looking for change, who said, I want to change. And you're going to help them. Now, this is very interesting. This is the success rate for change. Now, the numbers may change a little bit. I got this from a book called Identity and Destiny. Then there were some other people who sent me some emails about some changes on how successful people are changing. Number one, they get an ideal, a goal, or a dream, 5% of them accomplish it. Sometimes the ideal of God, now don't raise your hand. I'll put my hand up just for to represent all of us. God gave me something, I didn't carry it out. Okay? I remember one time, the whole Life Transformation Coaching Academy came about because I was teaching a class in the church on transformation. In fact, we're doing that class again in a couple of months. And I had a sharing time where people share something God told you to do that you weren't doing, but you know you need to do. And a brother stood up and he said, I'm supposed to go back to trade school. I'm gifted, good with my hands. I'm supposed to go to trade school, and I missed out on the opportunity. There's another opportunity to go. And right when he was saying that, he said, God, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, Irvin, let them know that you're supposed to go back to life coaching school because you dropped out twice. I'm giving you one more chance. And so to hold myself accountable, I told the whole class, I'm supposed to go back to school, get my life coaching certification so I can become a life coach. And I'm gonna hold myself accountable to you going back to school. And my coach and my master coach was Mackenzie. I think, Robbie, you asked me the other day that she's gonna be doing a Zoom presentation to us. She just had her second baby, so I'm not sure yet. But she was so happy I came back. She didn't even charge me the new rate. She said, I'm gonna keep you on the you're gonna be grandfathered in on the old rate. I said, thank you, Jesus. Okay, so I finished the class and then went on to get my master coach training and then went on to open my own academy. Yes?
What made you go back?
What made me go back? Because, remember I talked about everything God has spoken to me in word about 7 years earlier, 6 years earlier, that you're going to be a life coach. John 10:10, where Jesus said, I come that you may have life and have more abundantly. And for over 30 years, 35 years, I've been coaching people about sports. And he said, you're going to move from coaching people about sports to coaching people about life that I want for them.
So did you just, and this is just in general, because I think sometimes you get tired of just being sick and tired, whether it's weight or a job or whatever it may be. So I'm trying to get a sense for that threshold when you kind of sense, I got to do something. Because, I mean, the good point is that you fail, you got back up, you fail, you got back up. But when was that, what was that breaking point where you failed, you was like, you know what, I'm staying up this time? It was,
I think God told me the third time will be your last time. I'm just saying, it was just in that class. That class, it was a Sunday. I said, I'm not quitting anymore, honey.
And did it have something to do with you are a person of your word, so if you say it, you have to follow up and do what you say you're going to do if you do it publicly. Whereas when you're doing it silently, nobody knows that you didn't do that.
Yeah, I just got an idea, a goal, a dream, okay? But I made a public confession to everyone.
Saying it publicly, you had to be accountable to what, about 30 people?
Yeah, about 30 or 40, about this size class.
So, yeah, that made a difference.
Okay, Anitra.
I just want to say I'm glad that you took it the third time.
Yeah.
We ended up being in the same class, but I was taking the freshman.
Yeah.
So that's how I can touch your stuff.
Anitra's funny because they had given her an award or something in my class. I said, who is this girl from Kalamazoo? And I called her, and so Coach McKenzie gave me her number. I said, I called. I said, from Kalamazoo, I might know her. And it was real. She said, She said, yes, you're one of my pastors. I said, oh, well, oops. You know, but 5%.
I'm glad you acted okay. Yeah.
I'm fine. I don't know everyone. Has an ideal goal to only 5%. And that's not a good success rate. Consciously decides to adopt a goal. 10%. That's people who say, I got this New Year's resolution. They've said it, they consciously made the decision, I'm going to adopt it. But only about 10% of those people accomplish the goal. One coach told me, he sent me email, says it's 8% of people who accomplish New Year's resolutions. And they keep going back and doing the same thing. Why? Because they haven't done anything further. Now, it's good for those who do it, but it's not a success rate. I mean, I'd like to be known for 10% success. Okay. All right. Number 3, they actually start working on the goal. Now, one of my challenges, and I told my wife one day, I said, honey, God was just showing me something. I said, one of my challenges, I oftentimes I'm a great starter, but a poor finisher. You know, I want to be a great starter and a strong finisher. But that's where these people are. They start working, they can start fast. You might hear, you're going to see it over the next month in the gym. Gym going to be packed. Come middle of February after Valentine's Day, they're going to half empty. Why? Because they started, but they don't finish it. Now some, 25% will start and finish, but the 75% won't. 4th one, they design a written plan to act on the goal. So they started, they have a plan, it just increased. And the Word of God says, write the vision down, and those who see may run with it. Well, the first person to see it should be you who've written it down. I got 3 affirmations. I quote now every day, part of my prayer. Because it's really affirmation is the vision God has given me for something. So I'm writing it down, and every day I quote it concerning my family legacy, concerning my personal life, concerning my business life. And I'm writing it down and quoting it, because if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. Now, good, 40% of them do that. They're successful, but we can do better. And the next one, they make a commitment with another person. You got a peer person, partner going out with you. My daughters all made a commitment to do something healthy. And they committed to each other, to making it happen. And I'm waiting on that report. LeVay, are you in that group too? Group with your mom? Yeah, they even got my granddaughter involved in it. They made a pact when they all came up during the winter break and everything. But that's 60%. How many are doing something all by yourself that you want to accomplish? Okay. If you're doing something all by yourself you want to accomplish, you should at least have somebody you're talking to, someone working with you as a peer, that you're not in it by yourself. Because that's isolation has a tendency to cause you give up. And then the last one, 90%. That's why life coaching is growing. Hires a life or transformation coach to help them. Not just they gotta get results. They gotta empower people, and they gotta change lives. Yes.
Sometimes staying the same is more painful than change. And and what that looks like is you're putting out a bunch of fire all the time because you refuse to change. And and so with our creative asking questions and things like that, we can show our clients that of how, because they refuse to change, they're constantly running in a rat race or hamster wheel, that kind of thing. But so just an idea.
That's it. Running that hamster wheel, round and round. That saying, insanity, you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But you are a change agent. Look at someone and tell them you are a change agent. Regardless of whether you do it as a business or in life or personal or family, you're about changing lives.
Pastor Armstrong, when you were on that 60% part, I just heard in my spirit, isolation breeds cancellation.
Let me go rub my shoulder. Isolation breeds cancellation. Isolation breeds cancellation. I should already got it on Facebook. Now, this is good. Aisha, you taking notes? Aisha, are you taking notes? Okay, all right. Okay.
I like that one.
What you call to do to be successful, be that person part to help that 90% success rate, which is an excellent rate. You got to provide support. You got to really provide support. Encouragement. This is what a transformation coach would do, or a life coach. Very important. They got to be accountable. You got to hold that person you're coaching accountable. And you know my saying, people don't do what's expected, they do what's inspected. And that's a part of your accountability system. 4, you have to challenge them. You challenge them one or two ways. Sometimes you may have to challenge them because they're procrastinating or they're not doing the assignment. Other times you have to challenge them because they have unrealistic goals. So, but you do have to challenge them. Inspiration, you have to be there to inspire them, to help them out, and again, encourage them. And then the 6th one, the coaching skills, tools, and resources, which are asking questions, intuitive listening skills. You just have to, those are the things you give. And really, when you talk about coaching skills, tools, and resources, you really have to call upon God. And I'm telling you, if you're coaching someone, you're not praying for them, or even you're not praying with them. Even if they don't want to pray, that doesn't stop you from praying for them. And you ask God to reveal, because God knows everything, to reveal to you the questions you may need to ask, to give them insight as well as to give you insight. But a coach who does that, they're providing some things for the people, and they're getting results. And as we get into transformation, we're going to be talking about what are the results we want to give people, or what are the results people want. Okay, 70 days ablaze. We're going to get into a coaching one another. Over the next 70 days, January 8th through March 18th, you're going to be coaching someone, and we're going to believe there's going to be some goals achieved. We really want you to stretch yourself during these 70 days. And you're going to be doing your coaching with them each week, and you're going to learn how to help them get the results they want as we go through the transformation process. And then on March 18th, we're going to see where you are. And we want you really to stretch yourself, you know, in terms of the goals that you want. And we're going to give you 70 days. So I want you, and we're going to talk about that today a little bit. It's 10 minutes to 7. I got 20 minutes, okay. You're going to set SMART goals that will stretch and challenge you. 1 SMART goal, at the most 2. Sometimes people have resolutions and they have about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things they want to change, and it's too much. We want you to be focused on 1, at the most 2 during this class. This is not for the relationship coaching. This is not for the destiny coaching. This is only a part of the transformation coaching. And you're going to get into that. What doesn't challenge you will not change you. So it has to be something that's going to challenge you, that God has called you to say, I want to take you higher. I want to take you higher. I want you to go higher than what you were before. And then the question is, what do you really want? So we're going to get into that over the next 70 days. But you're going to come up with your goals at least this week. We may not get enough time to work with it today, but any questions? You're going to get all the notes from here this week, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. As I said, we want you to look at coaching in a professional manner. I missed the very first slide, talked about being a professional as a coach. So the first thing I want you to pull out is a contract. And your man says life transformation coaching contract. If I was doing a contract, I had changed this. I used to have something called abundant life coaching for you. And this was my contract. And I just changed a little bit. But this is the contract you're going to do with your peer coach. Speaking of peer coach, I'll get to that. And each of you are going to be assigned a peer coach. The mentor coaches know who their peer coaches are. So everyone has a peer coach. And so you just talk about some things. This is what I shared. You'll get it electronically. So if you want to make changes, it's yours. However you want to do it for anything. 2, as a peer coach to attend our meetings on time. Now, most people will not have face-to-face meetings. Most of your meetings appointments will be by phone. You'll be available for the agreed telephone appointment time. This is something you're going to read. You're not going to do this today. This is part of your assignment this week. And you're going to bring it back complete with your coach, to your peer coach, next Tuesday, next Monday. Then you talk about your client. This is from the coaching perspective. Your client, this is what they're responsible for. And they're going to have to agree to sign this. Then look at the cost of services. These were the charges I had. Couples, coaching fees, and then you get down to look at group session coaching fees. Oh no, look at multiple session coaching fees. Does everyone have that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're doing personal coaching, 4 sessions is $300, 8 sessions will be $600. So in essence, if you were coaching each other for a fee, it would be $600, but you're waiving that fee. So there's no charge. It's a complimentary 8 sessions for a grade. Okay, so you're doing that, but it gives people something. That's the profession. You want to give them something to sign. Anyone who's in business and they do a contract for a person to sign. So there's clarity and there's understanding. You know, and then if you look on the 3rd page, on session for session procedures, it says if we meet personally, but the 2nd bullet point says you are responsible to call for each session at the appointment time. In other words, whoever I'm coaching, the client is responsible to call me. I'm not looking for them. They will probably normally have paid up front before the call. So if you are the client, the week you're coaching, you're to call the person, your peer coach. It says if you get a busy signal or my voicemail, you can text me and then call me again. I was very clear on that. A young man, we were trying to catch up with one another. We kept texting each other, and then finally we kept saying, call us at this time. And we finally were able to meet with one another. But you have to hold the client responsible because they have to want to. Okay? And then schedule changes, I went over that. That was something I went. And then you're going to sign it as, if this is yours, I'm giving you this, you're going to sign it as the coach. And then when you get back next week, your peer coach will sign it. You both will exchange with each other because you both have the same thing. Yes, Joe.
Let's go throw this out because I know it's going to come up. Let's say the client forgets, and they don't call, and they pay their money up front, and then they call you later and say, can I do a review? You know, like you said, they have paid their money up front for the session, whatever was in the contract, they've already paid for that. But let's say on them, they just forget or whatever, and then they call you and say, can I get a refund or can you do something? How would you handle that?
I know how I would handle it, but let me ask Donna, counselor, I'm going to ask Alicia, how would you handle it? If someone was paying for a counseling session and they missed it and it was clear that they didn't call you.
They kind of, the 2 ways you can handle it. One is if you make it clear from the beginning that you paid for these weeks, I'm there, and I've made myself available. So then if you don't call, that's on you. That's right. And see you next week. The second way you can do that is still take say there's a reduce, you know, you're still going to have to pay something for my time. And so if it's a missed meeting thing, then you have to pay $75. You know, but there's a missed meeting. Most times in a coaching situation, I've got 10 weeks. I'm here 10 weeks. I'm available for 10 weeks. If you decide to not get, unless you give me 24, if you give me a notice 24 hours in advance, then that is how we get around it. And I find most people will call me 24 hours in advance because they don't want to have lost that.
And again, that's the whole idea is to have the guidelines down there and treat it as a business. It's professional. I know we may want to give the grace card to people, but you just gave them a lesson card, $75.
That's what they do at doctor's.
What is that?
That's what they do at a doctor's. That's a therapist. That's what I do as a therapist. So that's what the professionals do.
Hey, look at your name. Uh-huh.
And you have it on your.
I don't have it. Anisha, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say that you want to make sure when you draw up your contract, that you know how you want to handle that. You can't have it in there, so you can refer back to your contract that you signed. You know, so you either offer them like 24 hours or at your discretion, you might offer them maybe a replacement phone instead of, giving money back. Because you want to make sure that that's clear in your, if there's a note, if you're not giving money back, make sure it's your contract.
Yeah, and you'll get this in a non-PDF file so you can make changes to it that'll be more applicable to you. Yes, Donna.
Replacement calls are good, but someone might have an emergency.
Right.
Went to a doctor. There might be something that's an emergency. You don't want to seem so cold that you're not open to that. But if you give a replacement call on a regular basis, you're going to have folks on a regular basis, like you schedule.
So you might even want to put that in your contract. After the first time, you can have a replacement, a makeup call, but after that, you can send you somebody.
I wouldn't put it in my first. I'll just give them a grace time. Okay, because some people they'll take that time and then want you to give them another grace time. But those it's for you. That's what I'm gonna send it to you for you to make the change. The next page, just client information. You want to send them a birthday card, something like that. Send something or just so information from them to you. And this form here that you're completing is not going to the mentor coach unless you release it. It's only going to your peer coach. So I want you to get used to being professional in terms of the coaching industry. And then the last page, this is where it's going to take you some thought. And that's why this is the last page. There's a series of questions. Why do you want coaching? Because this is something you should be turning over. You want someone who wants to coach, who wants to be coached, but they should know why they want to be coached. Okay, you want clarity. What are your main goals and dreams? These are things going to allow you to help that person because you get to get information on them. And so when you do this, you're creating this, and then when you give this to your mentor coach, you two will just exchange it next week. Again, I will give you electronic copy. If you want to do it electronically and email it to them, that's fine with me. However you want to do it, you'll have that chance to do it. Any questions on this?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
I believe you went over this already, but when we turn our report in to our mentor coach, do we need to have each of these things, or do we want to have the goals, action steps?
Majority. I just want a summary.
Okay.
I want to know that you've taken that person from here to there. Okay, they have some goals. I want to know the progress on the goal. What obstacles? They might say, this is what I'm doing. Based upon your questions, I really want a summary report for each week that you're giving to your mentor coach. Good question. Anything else? Okay. One of the first thing I did, and I thank God for, some of you may know Pastor John Knowlton and Pastor Stan Ellis. They helped me with this right here. This is something you're going to take a few minutes to fill out today, because this is an assessment, and this is going to help you determine what your strength areas are and what your growth areas are. And on this assessment, it says, are you ready for change in your life? Transforming your life, coaching assessment. Are you ready for change in your life? Do you need change? Are you willing to change? Take this assessment, discover the answer for yourself. The key to an accurate assessment is being honest and responding to the statements. Don't put down what you want. Don't call those things which be not as though they were, okay? That's not for this here. I want to know exactly what's going on in terms of. So there are certain areas that says the code is not true for one, more untrue than true, not sure, not applicable, more true than untrue, absolutely true for 5. You put yourself numbers 1 through 5, and you're going to complete it. And then if you go to page 4, and there's 6 areas, and you're going to put your total score on those areas in page 4. You don't have one? I happen to have 2. Okay. I see it. So on that your total area gives you your total score, and then the scoring key is on the next page, and then there's some questions we're gonna ask. So I'm gonna ask you to take about, you know what, you're not gonna get a chance to coach anyone, but you can do it over the phone. So I want you to take this, and we're in about 5 minutes, 7 minutes, we're gonna come back to it. So go right ahead and take the assessment right now. Extra copies. I know I have extra copies.
Oh, there.
Here's one. Oh, yeah, is that 10 minutes? My time? How many of you still not finished? Okay, take a few minutes. Oh, most of them. Go on and finish up. We'll give them 5 more minutes. Or 3 minutes.
5 more minutes.
You got your TV? Keep writing. I'm going to share some things, but keep finishing up. One, you will not get your peer coach today or your mentor coach. But I don't want to just toss you out there and not give you some more instruction. So next week, I'm going to make a change. And our first initial coaching session with our peer will be in class. And I will still give you credit for one session. That's the only time I'm doing this. So you're going to coach your peer coach on this. So bring everything back. You give them a contract. And you're going to have a 40-minute time to coach one another. And your mentor coach will be right there with you. So they can be observing your coaching them. So you have an idea of how it should flow as opposed to just stepping out there. But you are to complete the assignment and start thinking about your goals. 1 or 2 that you're going to share. Don't bring a whole list. Some of you don't bring a bucket list. Some of you have that. I don't want that. 1 or 2. So with that in mind, let's stop because you can finish this at home since you're not going to do it with your coach right now. I want you to look up coaching questions, transformation. We're about results. We're about change. We are change agents. This is like a sample initial session. So if I was coaching Joe, these might be some of the questions I would ask him. One of the questions is, what is the specific goal you want? Now we're thinking SMART goals, and most of you have been through the SMART goal funnel. What motivates you to accomplish your goal? Why do you want to do it? What makes you want to do it? Because see, sometimes people put a goal down that someone else has said. And so when it gets rough, that wasn't my goal, or as Catherine said earlier, God didn't tell me that. And you're right, he didn't, but you put it down. So why do you want to achieve this goal? Give 3 reasons why you want to achieve this goal. See, when your why becomes strong, your what will flow. And sometimes why. Now, sometimes in coaching, why is not a real popular question, a real good question to ask in the beginning because people may become defensive. What obstacles, challenges, problems will you might have to overcome to achieve this goal? Sometimes with people of faith, we don't want to see the obstacle, but when the obstacles do come, we don't know how to overcome them. And so what might be the obstacles? Where are you currently starting from as it relates to this goal? That's why you're taking an assessment. And a lot of times in the assessment I give people, I call them strength areas and growth areas, as opposed to weaknesses. Because I'm calling what I want you to do is grow. How will you achieve this goal? List each individual action step, and that's a coaching thing that you can do. But you're going to be able to ask these questions and more. Then it goes on, when will you achieve this goal? Our date now is March 18th. So whatever goal you're looking for it for March 18th. That's the 70 days of Blaze. How would you feel if you don't achieve your goal? I asked one brother that, and he was like, I won't feel anything. I said, okay, maybe it's not that, maybe you don't want it that much, you know. I thought he was going to say, I feel disappointed. He didn't say that. He said, I don't feel anything. And then how would you feel if you do achieve the goal? I feel I've taken a step. I've taken a leap. Now I will feel great because I know it's something God has called me to do. Yes, sir. So those are just some of the questions. I did give you a sheet that has even more. It has Life Transformation Coaching Questions, Session 1, 8 questions and additional questions on the back. This is for you, but it's also when you're coaching someone in the initial session next week. And when you coach them next week, again, don't just depend upon this. Allow the Holy Spirit to reveal questions to ask. These are guidelines, not taskmasters. Okay. Any questions? I know this was a lot, so we're going to make up next week and do your 40-minute coaching session in here with your peer coach. If we have some changes, some of you might be put in groups of 3. You got to do 15 minutes of coaching with each other. And we will assign those coaches. As I said, I have quite a few people who told me they couldn't be here today, but everyone's supposed to be back next week for that. So we'll have everyone who said they're going to be here. We'll know by then. All right. Anything else? Okay. 10-minute break. You should know if you signed up last time, and if you're not, I have a list for you. If you are in the, Donna has a list. You have a list, Donna? Or I have the list. If you're in the Destiny class, we're going to close this wall up. So when people go on the break, we're going to close the wall up. Destiny class will be on this side. And then the relationship class will be on this side. But take your 10-minute break, and we'll be back to start at 7:30. Then we're going to move to
same day as my wedding. Yeah. Wait, you know what? I'm sorry. Maybe we say starting next Tuesday, but on that other Tuesday, I'm there. So yeah, I knew that.
We're still using the same.
Email or something like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, that's what the I'm so glad you guys are love now.
So we're now on our way down.
We do it because we check in every correct part. Yeah.
Yeah, we see those.
Oh, I don't know.
Go, girl.
It was a humbling experience, but they need
She's quiet and she's talking there. I'm saying, I'm trying to start that. It was like, why? It's gonna be.
I just got to change it up.
That's my only concern.
I know, and I just said, oh, that's what oh, really?
Yeah.
I designed it and did
Yes. Design the cover and create yeah, just type that stuff down. And then it goes to Amazon. So if I want a 6x9 140 pages. I know. I know what you're talking about. I can get mine right. Right.
That's your drink? Oh, that's your band's drink. I'm about to say, that's your drink.
My wife would give me some sometimes.
You got yeah. And then we upload it in PDF, and then they take it and format it into a 6x9. I see what they say.
Love your loyalty.
Okay, so yeah, you making everything. So by March, so I can have.
It feels like an alumni celebration.
That's right, thank you. That's
Okay. I can't talk too loud. Oh, we could never get the door wall closed.
You said the book is there? Okay. So I have no. Okay, I got it.
I think it's still recording.
Okay.
I know it's still recording.
Yeah.
Maybe go to
You're
just get it to a place where I can see it. This is the because it wasn't. That's not putting it in that direction. Well, that's where my dad. That's where he's gonna be standing. No, that's where he's standing. Right there.
okay.
Okay.
How do you change this to? You had it on a different screen. You had it on. I don't want to say it.
What do you know?
It's on the full screen now, but at first it wasn't.
Yeah, put it on the full screen.
You had it where you just have to go completely down.
Oh, I did the wrong one.
That's exactly she can actually see it.
Okay.
But you can still see the whole thing there. It was, I think it was for your PowerPoint.
I know it's in my PowerPoint. I just gotta share. I gotta share the screen again. Let me try. Let me see.
It was just her.
So no, I don't have that. So then, what I sent you all last year, just put the names in there, see the group, let's have you sign.
Let me.
I think it's just in your PowerPoint.
That is my PowerPoint. Normal.
Yeah, that's well, it's showing on the screen.
I don't know, Carmen. What, she can't do something? Oh, I think so. You don't want me to show that. That's gonna. Oh, my name.
There was something in your PowerPoint where you can just have it where it shows your own
Do what you can. Okay, how's everybody doing? We're gonna get started. I want to give you at least a little time to coach one another in relationship coaching and to take an assessment to see where you are for. You'll get a few papers, not as many as the last class, but you get a few papers to go with. Everything I give you now, this and more you'll get electronically for that. They told me, Joe, David, they told me that there's some type of locking system that they have to have a key to unlock it. That's why I kept bouncing back. And the manager is gone. She was here early. I should have had her show me. David, next time when you come, because you know I'm the first one here, check with her. She's normally at the front desk. Make sure we have this right. Help me out. Yeah. I don't know, but that's what the other group. Somebody knew at the desk. We try to help still. Okay. All right. Relationship coaching. Probably for me, relationship coaching is probably the most challenging coaching there is. And I'm going to get into that a little later. But as I told the other class, you know, I was working with a couple in relationship coaching and she told me to put my pastor's hat on. And then afterwards, she sent me a long three-page letter saying how I messed up, you know. But you're dealing with egos, you're dealing with a lot of issues. And so we're going to talk about that as we get going. But it's a professional coaching services to help you and your partner, colleague, new employee, or mentee work better together. In other words, when most people think about relationship coaching, they think dating and marriage. And it goes far beyond that. And so you're at a table, and Tammy, I need you to work with Lorraine these 2 minutes at this table. This is one table. Okay, this is the table. You three are a table there, and this is the table here. And I want you to work. And so when I go through this next exercise, because relationship coaching is on the rise. And I want you to think of every niche. In other words, if you see something like dating, okay, I could be a dating coach. I want you to write it down. You're going to take time to share with each other. Then we're going to share with the group. You're going to see, I believe we're going to come with about 20 to 30 niches that people can share. So I really want you to think out of the box when you hear something. It might be a grandparent coach or coach for people second time again. So I really want you to be creative in your thinking of the different niches that coaching can bring when it deals with relationships that we get out of just dating and marriage or pre-marriage. Those are real good, but it's so many more. And this is just some data that's been taken over the last few years. And you can see the rise in the coaching as it comes forth. Oh, I'm sorry, way ahead of myself. We're going to get to that point. Week one, I want to share with you what the curriculum is, the rise of relationship coaching. I'm going to say, get out of the way. Can you still hear me, Carmen, when I'm over here? We'll find out. They recorded me. We'll find out in a little while. 2, the 7 types of relationships. These are the 7 types I believe every person must have a positive, healthy relationship with. One is with God. How do you see God? We're going to get into that a little bit later. 2, yourself. How do you see yourself? Going on marriage, dating, singles, engaged, married couples. 4, family. Very important how you relate to your family. 5th one is friends, so the whole level of friendship. How we relate there. 6, business and workplace. How do you relate to people at work in different areas? All these, if you don't have positive, I don't want to use the word healthy relationship, they can bring stress into your life. You can have the greatest marriage, but if your in-laws are trying to challenging you, or if your grandchildren are challenging you, those can create stress points. Okay, and then 7, how do you handle enemies? And I say enemies are those who have betrayed you. And we're going to cover all 7 of these and how to coach people then. And then every week we're going to have some type of scenario where I'm going to put a role play. You're going to do some role playing on coaching and relationship. It is a fast growing industry and people will pay for it if you help them get results. We're going to get into that. Week 3, we're going to get in God in you, your self-esteem. Week 4, the single adult and dating from attraction to the altar. What most people don't realize is that when, as a coach, when I'm coaching, what I've learned, you should have some expectations. And at every level of the relationship, we get into the friendship, at every level of the relationship, there are certain questions you ask. And what most people don't know, even Christians, and Joyce and I are really picking up this most in the last few years, people don't even know their values. And we'll talk more about values in the transformation class, but we will be talking about a little bit about values in the relationship class. You know, and then week 5, committed, premarital, marital. The reason we have committed, you got more people shacking up than married. And so you're going to deal with those in the areas. And when I get to this, I'm going to share with you some other areas why I stopped being a relationship coach. Now, I believe God's going to call me to come back. It's really a passion I love. You know, I just got to fine tune the area I'm going to work in. And number 6, family, parenting, children. That one, Anitra White and Tamara's going to do. They're going to do that because Anitra will help write the parenting curriculum that my master coach did with Mackenzie. I gave him that. And that might take long because you got parenting, you got grandparenting, you got so much involved in parenting in there. So we're not sure if that's going to be just 1 week. It's hard. Week 7. It should be 6 levels. It says 7 levels, but it was 6. Acquaintance, associate, fellowship, that's the beginning of friendship. Some people, they're acquainted with people, they think that because they are good friends, a close friend, level 5, intimate friendship relationship, becoming best friends, they're really only acquaintances. Rarely are you on the same level of the person you're friends with. And there are certain questions to ask on each different level to know where you are. As a coach, you have to ask the person these questions, see if they're asking these questions of themselves or somebody else. Okay, week 8 is business, workplace, and your enemies. How do you handle relationships on the job? Some relationships you can eliminate, but the job relationships you got to regulate. Because they're there. And you got to really know how people tick them. Folks will drive you crazy on the job. You know, they will. So you just got to know how they tick and how you can flow in that. Week 9 is the common thread in all great relationships, communication. How the communication, there's an assessment I plan on giving you. I'm just looking to see if that's still the best one out there for me to give to you. And then week 10 is building a successful coaching relationship practice. We're going to give you a relationship coaching business assessment to see if it's a fit for you. Somebody say, I'm going to be a relationship coach, and it's not a fit for you at all. So we're going to let you know where you are in that and some things you need to know where to go. And we'll share with you some things. So those are going on each of the 10 weeks in the class. Relationship coaching will help you understand yourself and your relational patterns. This type of coaching doesn't need to be hard work, but it needs to be the right work. And as we said earlier, it's about getting results for that. In the course, today's lesson, part 1, the case for relationship coaching. And this is where I want you to come together in your group, and I want you to start thinking about what different niches we can have. And we're going to be sharing those in a little while. Going on. So the number 1 thing, there are more single people today than ever in history. That's not working right now. And then you have 46% of the adult population, 37 million, and 28% in 1970. So we have grown from 28% to 46%. And someone just responded to me. Okay. Number two, and start thinking about different type of coaches. And the first one, I can be a single coach. I can be a dating coach. It opens up the other avenues. Think out of the box and start writing your thoughts down because you're going to share them in your group. Over 35% of households are single occupant households. 70% in 1970. More than double. 50% of households are married couples. 70% in 1970. Think about the type of coach you can be. The marriage rate is decreasing and at its lowest in 30 years. The divorce rate has remained at or above 55% since 1988. Several niches out of that. You might become, I'm giving you some ideas that you can write. Might be a divorce recovery coach. Might be a divorce prevention coach. One of the above. The divorce rate is the highest in the third year of marriage. What type of coach can you be with that? The divorce rate is the highest in the third year of marriage. What type of coach could you possibly be? The majority of firstborn children are not conceived by or born to unmarried parents. More than 70% of all adults marry at least once. Cohabitation is skyrocketing by 1,200% in the past 30 years, yet 85% of them fail and increased failure rate of marriage. So what type of coach? What type of niche? Everyone understand when I said a niche? Okay. Half of all children will spend time in a single parent family, experience higher rates of juvenile delinquency, domestic violence, drug and alcohol addiction, school dropout, mental and emotional problems, suicide, unemployment, etc. What type of coach? That might move you to being a relationship coach with youth. Just of his name. Over 8 million children live with at least one grandparent, a 65% increase since 1991, when 4.7 million children live with a grandparent, according to a new report from the U.S. Census Bureau. More than 2,000 new step families, blended families, are formed every day. So what type of? Nearly half, 44% of young people ages 18 to 29 have a step sibling. These are all different types of relationship coaches you can become. The percentage of young adults who say that having a good marriage is extremely important to them is increasing. One study says 94%. So that's the case. I want you to take about 5 minutes, share what you do. I need a champion in each group. Give me my mentors here. Any one of you four can choose, or whoever want to lead the group. Just come up with some ideas. I got 2 mentors, coaches there, and I got enough here. So just share, take a few minutes to share, and see what you can come up with. And what I want you to do is to come up with a list. Yep, niche, different niches, and give a name for the niche. Come up with a list. You have about 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Because if you're advertising, you know, like, so it's
The biggest thing is do a Google search. We have we're going to talk about that a little later in the business
Wow. So put down internet search.
Okay, that's true.
Midlife. Midlife.
I need to coach.
Oh my God, process. Yeah.
So I don't think that job. I don't think that job.
You got about a minute to finish.
So can you say any mention or something tied to it?
Tied to relationship. But it doesn't have to be named. Leadership and executive. Dealing with people. So when you say coaching, you're dealing with people.
That's what it is.
Time's up. Okay. What I want you to do, I'm gonna start with these two. Just do 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're gonna have a spokesperson share the names you come up with. If you have a question about one of the names, please ask, and so we can get more clarification of the name. And then it might trigger another name in your group. You know, because the whole idea. And then afterwards, I want you to give the papers to Joyce. So I'm going to just make a list of all the different types of coaching niches in the relationship coach, so you'll have that. Who's the spokesperson? Okay.
We have incarcerated parents.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, what was that?
Incarcerated parents. Parent caregiver. Youth coach. A single parent coach. Drug recovery. Sex coach. I'll have to explain that. A blended family coach, a parenting coach, single dad's coach, youth coach, divorce coach, managers coach, unconventional family coach, first time parent coach, life after retirement coach, almost empty nester coach. Empty nester coach, first time midlife parents coach, people who have kids later on in life, millennial coaches, organizational coach, leadership coach, public relations, and customer service.
Any comments or questions for that group? That's good. I did a lot. How many numbers did you have? What was your number?
23.
That's a lot. So you see there's a lot in the coaching profession, in the relationship coaching. Table 2.
They stole all.
I know they did. No, Tammy, just say yours in a different way, okay?
Okay, anyway, so we had a single coach, dating coach, a new employee coach, a seasoned employee coach, a children's coach dealing with the elementary age, a second chance coach, an adolescence coach, a millennials coach, blended family, a conflict resolution coach, a reuniting or estranged family coach, family coach dealing particularly with grandparents, a Christian leadership coach, a community leadership coach, an organizational coach, an executive coach, and then a collegiate coach that will go in and deal with owners and players.
So we're up to over 30 now. Based on the difference, we're up to over 30. And you've already surpassed what I was thinking. We haven't even gotten to these two tables here. Okay, we're in on your table. Cabela?
Parents of special needs coach, successfully single coach, single parenting, divorce coach, recovery coach, divorce prevention, teen coach, marriage awareness coach, blended family, siblings coach, working woman, executive coaching, dynamics, work group coach, transition coach, life transition. That's a lot of transitions. You know, like you can move, you can get divorced. No. 50 plus coach, elder care coach. Let me just make sure. Working fathers coach. Elder care life coach and professional coaching, and I think divorce prevention coach.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Elder care. That's an increasing one. And Dave, when we think about working with Somebody said something about working with single father coach.
Yeah, we have working father coaches.
Working father, single father. You said single father. I just think about some of the men, the father generation, what you're part of. It's definitely a need and a cry for it, for all the coaches. So you can see the relationship coaching. Okay, who's reading with a beautiful handwriting?
We have menopause coaching.
Okay, that's a new one.
It is.
Okay.
What did you say?
Menopause.
Oh,
Okay, now they heard.
Okay, and I would like this one, reverse coaching, which happens a lot, where you're reverse parenting coaching, where the adult, your parent, and your own child is now. That's really good. Generational coaching, where you're working with different ages within the workplace, and your boss may be younger than you, but you're over people who's older than you. So, this is all over the place. And then for introvert coaching, mom and daughter cooking coaching. Mom and daughter coaching, and then adult children parenting coaching, where you may have a gap in your ages. So you may have maybe a teen, but then you may have a 20-year-old.
Or a 7-year-old, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's hard.
That's it. Okay. So if before the end, please give that to Joyce. I can make one list of it. Give yourself a hand. That was good. And as you go through the training, as we go through it, you're going to see more and more types of relationship coaching. And as I said, it's on the rise because relationships are so fundamental, essential to life. And in the next session, 14 compelling reasons why people will hire. Everyone say hire. Hire a relationship coach. One, they value relationships higher. And so you're looking for people who have that high value. Two, they are committed to having successful relationships. Sometimes you'll see when you give out an information survey onto them that this person really wants it. They really want it, and they're willing to pay for it. Too many times people try to say, how much can I get for nothing? And because they don't give nothing, they won't give of themselves when it comes trouble. And they want results. That's why as a coach, and we've been saying this in the previous class, I'm gonna say it over and over again, if you're not getting results, you're not coaching. And that's what we're gonna be talking about, getting results. They are willing to learn. They are willing to take responsibility. I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm just gonna say it like that. These are people who wanna hire. They are willing to take action. This information came from the Relationship Coaching Institute. In the Relationship Coaching Institute, not only do they get you started on coaching, they give you a website, and they will even have people come to your website and hire you through the website they've given you for that. They are open to support and coaching. They want a more fulfilling life. Sometimes they feel not so much getting married. They just say, I just got to improve the relationship. Okay. They want to be true to themselves. Too many times people are living a lie wherever they go. So they want to be true to themselves. This is who I am. And I need to know, how do I express myself, and how do I overcome the fears or the fear of people. And they need a coach to help them do that. And they want one. That's why they want to do it. They want to communicate and connect more effectively. You have some people who are great communicators. They can send out text messages, email, they keep you on task, but they're poor connectors. They're not connected to anyone. And so what happens, we have more communication devices, but less connection. And so what you're looking for as a coach is you're helping people not just communicate, but connect. Or you're helping the connectors on how to communicate. Because they're good at connecting with people, but they don't follow up. Okay. And so they want to communicate and connect more effectively. They want to be proactive. I'm tired of reacting to things. How can I be more proactive? So these are the people who are looking to hire people because they know the investment of themselves is the most important investment they can get. Okay, they want to go beyond their limits. So they're willing to hire a coach. You know, they want balance in their life. Sometimes they're just out of balance. You know, balance between my family, my friends, my workplace. And they want new possibilities for their relationships. For that. So those are just different reasons why people will hire a relationship coach and why it's a fast growing business element of coaching. And one of the things you pick about relationship coaching, you don't have to have any degrees. Last year when I talked about the money coach is good, but there's a competition with financial planners, all different types of people. Relationship coaching, there's nobody out there other than a counselor, but you two are different. You know, for that. So that's a strong reason. And a relationship coach goes from, and you said it here, there's no limit. There's so many people. I just don't want you to come. And most coaching training schools only talk about two things, dating and marriage. And I want you to think beyond that. You know, Carmen?
One more that kind of came to me. I'm thinking about listening to Miss Donna over there. Could you have one like for its personalities and like the colors and really kind of helping other people understand other people?
All that is a part of relationship coach. Everything you.
I call it a diversity coach.
Yeah. But all that is a part of relationship coach, knowing who you are and how you're wired. You know, so those are part of the different assessments you take. When we get into talk about self-esteem and different things, we're talking about different assessments. Okay, 10 challenges relationship coaches face with clients. These are challenges you're going to face more. All coaches face these challenges, but relationship coaches face with clients. And the most challenging ones are married couples. They're the most challenging ones. So if you want to get into marriage coaching, get ready to get on your knees. Start praying, because they are the most challenging ones. I mean, premarital couples are the easiest one, but they're idealistic.
You want to live it together or not live it together?
One's not living together. Okay? One's not living together. But they're so idealistic that you'll share something and it's just everything's okay. Everything's fine. I'm already there. And they haven't hit reality. I used to tell people you have the ideal, you have the ideal, which is where engaged couples are. Then when you get married, you hit the ordeal, and then if you don't handle it, you're either gonna get to a new deal, or if you do handle it, you get the real deal. Okay, but you're gonna have to deal with it. So, so I'm letting you know, and that's my love, premarital over marriage. But boy, that's the most challenging one. And see, like I get couples. And just last week, I had 2 couples call. Spent a lot of time. Oh, I told one of them, said, don't think y'all getting all this time. You know, but they're the most challenging one. And I'm trying to coach everyone. I'm a pastor. I'm coaching from the Word of God. I'm coaching because God has placed it in you. Lack of commitment. So they may not come with a lack of commitment. They may come. And you got to realize, you got to discern, because you so many relationships. Are they coming to talk to you about dumping stuff? Or are they coming to you to get help? Because if they dump and you receive it, you become a garbage truck. And they'll continue to dump and dump and dump and dump. And every time Joyce and I know, even as coaches, even before this, each week we give an assignment. Wherever we come, they're gonna get it. If they don't do the assignment, don't come. Don't come back to the assignment completed. 2, poor communication skills. Now they say, I need help in that communication skill. Well, the first thing you do is communicate with us. That's why you got to be very, very professional in whatever you hand out as a coach. Make sure it's clear in those areas. And one of the challenges is when I speak of poor communication skills, it's again dealing with married couples. They'll lie. You hear one story from one from the next. We always talk to couples individually, then we come back and talk to them together. It can be night and day. About the stories about some things. It could be their perspective, but still night and day. I mean, and we bring it out. But no, we say the third session when we talk.
But you know what, Pastor, I have to say this. My sister and I, even though we're twins, we'll share the same story, but my story is so different than her story. Even as siblings, that cracks me up that it's like that as well.
Her story is different.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I get stories that's totally upset. But it's poor communication skills. But those are the challenges. I'm just saying, know the challenges you may face. You're called to overcome. I'm not saying it's not to do it, but know what you're going to face. You're going to get different stories. Not willing to take responsibility. They're not willing to take responsibility for their actions, or lack of action. Procrastination. Now, these are common with all coaching, but it's intensified, it's magnified in relationship coaching. People put out. Why? Because of fear. One of the biggest issues you'll deal with coaching and relationships is fear, intimidation, in the marital arena. 5, blame or victim mentality. Constantly blaming someone else so they won't overcome it in that area. Or they see themselves as a victim. That's why the self-esteem one with individual, how they see themselves is very important. And going back to what you were saying, Carmen, in terms of assessing themselves. Lack of direction or focus. Where are they going? One of the things we picked up, we were sharing with a couple, one of the things couples don't have that we really, when we go into coaching, they don't have an understanding of their values. They don't know them, so they don't know if they complement or not, or a vision, for that. 7, lack of being proactive, constantly reactive. Again, there are different questions you can ask to help people going in any type of way. 8, focus on the past. If a couple or an individual, not a couple, could be an individual. If they focus on the past, you want to refer them to a counselor.
That was my next question. At what point, if you're doing married couples or that, do you say, okay, this is outside of the realm of coaching, but now needs to transition into counseling?
Any person we talk to, individual or couple, we say by the third session, we'll let you know if we can help you. We know we can help you. And that's important because if we can't, we have a law of referral. And in fact, as I said, the couple we're talking to right now, the individual I'm talking to, the 3 sessions, I don't know. And I'm not saying it, every time it goes in 3, I just have a good understanding if they're going to keep bringing up the past. The last 3 are the ones I really do referrals on. The next one, not able to manage emotions. If you can see they're getting tense, anger. I don't think I told y'all. I don't think I told this group. I was counseling a couple and I told the lady, I told the wife, I said, don't tell him that. He's not ready to receive that. And she just, and they're sitting right across like you two are. And she said, no, I'm going to tell him, Pastor. No, don't tell me I'm not ready. So she told him, and I'm sitting right here with these 2. He pulled out a knife. She ran behind me. I thought, I couldn't even say, I couldn't even speak English. I thought, I shut up. I could feel her shaking behind me, and he's standing up, and he's getting off. I keep rising up, demons rising up. I knew he was going to go off. And she told him, now they did something, I'm crazy. And what made it so funny, Pastor Brooks down the hall, he must have been praying for me. I know he must have been praying for me. But I thought for sure he was going to go after 1 or 2 of us. I didn't know which one. Because I was praying in the spirit, Lord, just save him, brother. I should have said save the girl, but I'm sorry. But then you know what? Their marriage turned around.
Do they have a no knife policy now?
I've taken knives out of homes. I've taken guns out of homes.
The metal detector.
Right. Metal detector coaching.
That's why you do it on the phone. Okay, I'm getting a little too loud. But the last three I normally refer to counselors. Because I go right again. The 10th one is not willing to change. And normally it relates to one of the other two in those areas. But those are challenges. There are more, but those are 10 very common challenges you will face as a relationship coach in those areas. One of the things they talk about is 10 guidelines. And these are, how can I say it? What relationship coaching is not. It's not counseling or consulting. You may do some consulting, you may do some counseling. Whenever you give an option, you ask for permission to give an option to individuals you're working with, no matter what area. Again, as a coach, especially a relationship coach, because it's so fundamental. If you become a relationship coach, you want to have a blog out there. You want to have a blog, and eventually you're going to have a book. Yes.
I was just going to say the reminder, but don't counsel unless you have expertise in counseling, like licensed counseling.
Yeah. But you eventually want to do that too. A relationship coach helps the client focus on the bigger picture. In other words, a lot of times when you talk to different clients, if they're having trouble, problems, or anything like that, they want to talk about the problem. You got to talk to them about where they're going. I like what Joyce says and Stephen Covey. You got to begin with the end in mind and keep them focused on the big picture, not on the temporary setback. Now, anytime we coach someone, when they come into us, I normally ask the person, is there anything you would like to talk about? Because if it's on their mind, it will stay on their mind until they release it. But I have a little time limit on that. And I won't say it could be 5-7 minutes, but it's not going to be the whole coaching session. And I don't care. Number 3, a relationship coach shares knowledge, experience, and information without attachment. Don't get yourself emotionally involved, personally involved with the person. I'm going to fight their battle. They were wrong. No. Don't do that. You're called a coach, yes.
We have a saying, you can't want something more for someone than they want for themselves.
A relationship coach assumes a person's relationships are an integral part of their life journey, not the destination. So we're going to always have this journey. We're always going to be building relationships. There's 3 things people need to know. Either you eliminate relationships, you regulate relationships, or you look for relationships you can activate. It's going to make you better. The relationships you regulate on your journey are those relationships you work with people, okay? Or relationships you may have been friends. That's all a part of regulation, when you deal with relationships. A relationship coach assumes that the most important relationship, apart from your relationship with God, is the one you have with yourself. How do you see yourself? How does a person see themselves? As a coach, if you find out that they're struggling with themselves or they're struggling with God, you got to start with the basics. And there's going to be questions and ways. I love Pastor Brooks' 7 questions. If I was coaching someone and they had struggle with God, we just go right into the 7 questions, about that. A relationship coach does not judge a relationship as right or wrong, good or bad. You have to help them to take responsibility for it. They can change. Some people, see, you as a coach, we have to allow people to fail but not become failures. You can't try to protect them. And there's a lot of people say, man, I know you're going up the wrong road. But sometimes that may be the best way for them. Now if they ask you some things, you want to be able to say, okay, this is how I would do it. And they give you permission, but ask for permission as a coach. A relationship coach does not seek to get personal needs met with clients or prospective clients. Don't use people. Don't feel this is a weak link, in that. A relationship coach addresses their clients' sabotaging attitudes and choices without making them wrong. How do I help them open their eyes that they can see that this may not be the best choice for them? Or that they stand in this type of relationship and they need to get out? Yeah. What is that question? Yeah. Great question. Great question. Great question. A relationship coach is neutral about the outcome for pre-committed and committed relationship. Now, the pre-committed include premarital. Committed relationship are people already living together. Okay? Because you're going to get those. And then an advocate for marital relationship. And that's just where we stand. Now, Joyce, when we do premarital, Joyce is real tough. She's much tougher than I am. She definitely plays the devil's advocate in those areas for that. And the last one, a relationship coach walks the talk by continuing addressing his or her own personal relationship development challenges and goals. I will guarantee you, as you go through this course and as you move into the arena as a relationship coach, you're going to see your personal development take place in the area of relationship. That's going to happen. Sometimes my wife said, I'm at my best when I'm doing a marriage retreat. She told a couple others, she said, you know what? When he's doing ministry to folks, he comes out and open the door for me all the time. And then after that, it's half the time. And then sometimes he's watching me. I said, okay, honey, I need help. So those are just some guidelines. I want to see what my time is on. All right. One of the things you want to bring into relationship coaching, because it's so intense, it can be so rewarding. You want to make sure you have some basic coaching skills down pat. Where you want to really make sure you acknowledge these coaching skills and you work on these coaching skills. And these are some skills I've learned, and I'm still learning. I'm not there yet, but there's some skills that you really want to, how can I put it at the top? So it's more like a checklist. And again, you'll get this in writing. You'll get this in email. Accountability, obtaining commitment to action items that the person chooses and accounting for their results. You got to hold people accountable. Yeah, that's why I said we give assignments. You know, now I'm going to tell you right now, the more people invest, the more they will be held accountable for. Because they want the results. To being positive, highlighting their strengths, cheerleading accomplishments, helping clients stay optimistic and focus on goals and solutions. I strongly believe in now and then when I give action stuff, I say make something that's doable in a week. Make something you can do towards your goal. And you heard me say it over and over, and we call it a first down. Every time you complete an action step, it's a first down. It's not a touchdown. And even when you get a touchdown, it doesn't mean you won the game. Just means you got to start over again. But it's a first down. Being positive. Willing to challenge, requesting a client stretch beyond their self-imposed limits. You're going to have people, they're going to place limits on themselves. Or they have allowed people to place limits on them that are not, the people haven't done, it's just in their mind. The battle is in their mind. But you have to be willing to challenge them. And one of the challenges coaches have, we're not willing to challenge. We want to be a friend. You're not their friend, you're their coach. Their relationship coach, their life coach, their transformation coach. Friendship will be a part of it. You got to take the friend hat off. I'm going to be a coach because I'm going to help you get from here to there if that's where you want to go. Clarifying, making sure everything is clear from and to the client by questioning, reframing it, articulating what is going on. You want to make sure the client has a clear picture of what they're saying, and you have a clear picture of what they're saying. Okay? Because one of the worst things that happens, you're taking the wrong notes and you get a misunderstanding. So you want to make sure it's clear. And that's sometimes you have to repeat it or have the client repeat it to you. Most times it's better to have the client restate it to you. Establishing a partnership, assisting the client to take responsibility by deciding the form of support most beneficial to them. What type of support do they want that's going to help them accomplish their goals? In counseling, the counselor usually does design the partnership. In coaching, the client does. Next one, forwarding to action, using a variety of skills and tools to move the client a step forward toward their goal. Almost anything I do with people now, I give them assessment. But there's other tools to help them as we go along. And there's a lot of stuff, especially for the marriage arena. There's so many assessments on. There's so many competitions. There's companies that will hire you and pay you to work with couples and give you all the tools in your training for that. Empowering the client. Probably the most important distinct skill, coaching skill. The coach becomes invisible and without judgment, opinion, or answers, which allow the clients to access their own answers. They got to access the answers. As I said, one of the challenges I've had as a pastor is when I do share with people, even a word, if they mess up, they're blaming me. Not all, but many for it. And so I've learned to take it, but I said eventually God is going to show them what they need to do. And hopefully I can show them. Now, I've had people say, put on your pastor's hat. And I said, I will, but you're still responsible for your choices. I can only give you the word. Keeping the focus, assisting clients to stay on track when distracted by feelings, circumstances, etc. One of the biggest challenges, keeping the client on track. Now, please, sister, don't take this offensively, okay?
We already did.
I know you have. I know it's too late. I know it's too late. But sisters have a tendency to talk more than men.
Yeah.
You
You just gotta get it out.
That's not always.
tendency.
Wait.
There's a phone.
For 10,000 words a day, yeah, something.
Yeah.
Women do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but men use the phone more than women is what I heard. There's a study that came out.
What I'm saying, when we did some things 2 years ago, I found out in Grand Rapids we had a smaller group, and I found really it was real small because Pastor Scott and I were the only men in that group. And so we were coaching each other. We found out the time limit we did, and the time limit Joyce and Barbara did, totally different. We were about here, and our talk and our coaching time, we did a 40, but they were about here. Yeah. They're just talking about those things.
Everything probably was a coach style coaching. We get rid of the preliminaries first. We deal with preliminaries.
Oh no, I totally agree. Tom preached. I totally agree. You deal with the preliminary. Let me rewind you. The whole point: keep people on focus, whether they're male or female. That's all. Maintaining an attitude and inquiry, curious, supportive, positive. In other words, you want to just keep inquiring, keep asking questions to help people bring it out of them so they discover what they need and where they should be going. And I'm going to tell you, this part right here is really asking the Holy Spirit to reveal to you the questions to ask. You know, one of the things we're going to say, don't go into coaching an area for the money. Go into it because you have a passion, because that passion is going to drive you to learn more so you can better serve. That's why one of the first things you want to do if you decide your niche, if it's relationship coaching, you want to start a blog. Even if you don't do a blog every week, you can get other blogs, other people's blogs, and get their permission to release it out for that. But you want to start building up, because relationship, I believe strongly, you need to learn how to blog if you're doing any type of relationship coaching. Powerful questions, asking open-ended and probing questions that evokes clarity, deepens learning, and propels action. And we have so many questions we have. I gave my daughter Brittany before. I said, your dad's he's not going to pass you, coach you. He's not going to do the premarital. Someone else did. I said, I do want you to do one thing. I gave him a question, 386 questions, 12 topics. She said, Dad, that was the best thing anyone ever gave us. She said it was the best thing. She said she and her fiance talked about it afterwards. And they didn't go over every question, but it had every area you can go to. You know, it was something I got through a coaching class I gone through. And they said in terms of relationship coaching, you just give it to people and then tell them which ones they want to respond to. You know, in that area. So she was really excited about that. Requesting, helping the client move towards their goal by making a request based upon the client's agenda. In other words, the client has a goal to do that. Sometimes a request to make, like Joyce just said earlier, Dr. Fields, how's that working for you? And to get them to open their eyes that it may not be working for them at all. And they need to find another alternative. Or a request can be made to someone, is that really realistic? You know, can you do that? Do you think you can really do that? And you're not godly, you just want them to count the cost, especially if they've been making a request, doing it for 3 weeks and they haven't done anything. You know, I think I was talking to Catherine about something with the girls, and we were talking about, can you really do 30 pounds? in a month or something. Or some people say, I'm not saying people can't, but each person, you got to ask them that question. We used to have a saying, Pastor Brooks had trained the men, and he gave the men 24 accountability questions. And you had to ask different questions of the men you were going around with. And the last questions, there was a whole bunch of it. The last question was, have you lied about any of the above? And so the men would start asking those questions. One of the questions the men would also ask was their requesting was they would say something like, really, is that working for you? How is that working for you? Yes, Kathy.
I think another really good question to ask, and I kind of use this with our group, and that is, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And when you ask yourself that in whatever area of a relationship, that's what keeps you going. And when you forget, I mean, when you feel like stopping or giving up, you have to remember why you started to begin with. So I love that. I ask myself that on a day-to-day basis. Like when I get up and go to the gym, how bad do I want it?
That's good. That's good. Now you'll be getting a lot of questions for me. I'm not going to give a lot of our time, but you're going to get like a page of questions just for your own benefit that you can use at any time. The next one, reflective listening, providing a mirror to help the client increase their insight, understanding, and clarity. And that's just a reflect. Make sure you're hearing what they're saying, and saying it back. Last is, these are tips that successful relationship coaches have given. So it's not mine, it's what different coaches who have already been successful in the area of relationships. And these are their tips, and I just think got them all on one page. Listen for what may be missing to accomplish a result of honor a person's values. Lead by example and following the principles they teach and they champion others. In other words, they're saying this is what they do. And each coach can come up with a different one for them. Are committed to their clients, make sure I'm not standing in front, are committed to their clients' goals and happiness at the same time. What does that doesn't say it there? At the same time to his or her responses. And you'll get this, are grounded in values-based personal development principles. Really, I would have said are grounded in biblical principles, values-based. But that's another word of saying, but values is a part of that. And hold those they coach as totally capable and confident while looking for what might be missing for them to fully experience the most magnificent relationship experience. Again, different coaches have said this along the way. Help their client to be the best they can be during the process of accomplishing their relationship goals. This is important. Never make their client feel small or become dependent. Again, these are different coaches who have said this. Have permission to tell the truth and not step over uncomfortable topics or situations in order to avoid discomfort or look good to the client. Again, that person is about result. Create a safe atmosphere that allows the client to be vulnerable and open to possibilities. Support the clients in an accountability structure, ensuring that they follow through on what they say they will do. Support the free flow of ideas and conversation for possibilities through ideal streaming. These are what successful relationship coaches are saying. I'm learning along the line with you. Some may gravitate to you, one may, rest may not, but they have built their business based upon what they believe. So there were 10 different coaches, and they gave each what really stirred them up with the number one thing, one tip in their life. So that was that. So the question now is, are you satisfied with your relationship? So we're going to take an assessment. So you're going to take your own assessment. And this is a unique assessment. And so we'll get one at each table. Pass around, make sure everyone gets one.
Really want our neighbors.
Not for this class. You're helping me make my own curriculum, so thank you. Oh. Got one more here. Let me share with you a little bit about this, okay? It says, now let's get honest. Take an intense look at your relationship and score yourself using the following scale from 1 to 10. You may have no relationship in some areas. Extremely poor all the way to peak. Excellent. And these are the 10 areas. You may not do every area. Every area may not apply to you. Please put NA for not applicable. Okay? And then when you get your total number of your points, put your total number down, the number of areas you put a score in, and divide that. That'll give you your score. And then we'll talk about where you are. Okay. You can go. Shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to do that short. When you get down to the we get down to the bottom, just write down your top 2 areas. The ones you have number 4. You divide it by the numbers you have 4. If it's not applicable, you can't put that in there.
So who are the top 2 areas that need focusing on?
Top 2 areas you need to grow in. You need to focus on. Top 2 areas you need to focus on. I'm sorry. So it's really the top 2 areas for growth. Okay.
Divided by the number of relationship areas.
When you put a score in. Yep, you divide it. Okay, once you divide it, okay, you're gonna pair off. And it's gonna be simple because it's only gonna be about 10 minutes. You'll be paired with the person right next to you, with one exception. Aisha, I want you to work with Joe. And you and Carmen work together. Okay, Joyce and Catherine. Yeah, put your names on it. Pair off with the person next to you. On the back, they're gonna coach you. You're gonna have 5 minutes you're not gonna have much time to go through this. Relationship assessment coaching question on the back. And you're gonna ask that person, introduce yourself.
So nice to meet you.
I'll tell you when you switch. Really? Yeah, those questions are the others. I'm gonna ask about your coaching assessment. You have 7 minutes each. You don't have to switch papers. Keep your papers. You just gonna coach them and write notes down. Keep your papers. Keep your own papers. You're just gonna ask them questions about their assessment. Okay? And one person's gonna be the coach, one person's gonna be the client.
How many minutes?
7 minutes. Per each group, you're gonna have 7 minutes to coach one another.
Oh, I got us.
And which one of those? That's a good one. Okay. So you focus on the areas you have to hear, but it's in the wrong area. It could be an area in there where you got 5 to 7 help. It could be an 8 one make it. You determine the area you focus on. Right. And one of you got to be the coach, one has to be the client. Let's do a nice quick. So I'm gonna turn everything off. You getting a lot done with your homework?